Last month, the renowned Israeli actor Chaim Topol passed away. I believe he was 87 years old. And of course, he's best known for his role in the classic movie about Jews of Eastern Europe, Fiddler on the Roof. And in the opening scene, he sings the iconic song, Tradition, Tradition. And in the middle of the song, he stops. He looks into the camera and he says, You know, we wear fringes on our garments. Why? I'll tell you. I don't know. But it's a tradition. And for better or worse, this is how many Jews practice. We keep rituals, um, we keep observances, and we don't necessarily know the reasons of it, and that's too bad. But this particular precept of fringes, they're called tzitzis, it has special significance to me because of an incident that happened when I was just becoming religious. I had only just started wearing wearing these tzitzis, these fringes. I'd only been in Israel in yeshiva, in religious seminary, for a couple of months. I wasn't completely convinced I was going to stay or I was going to become religious, and I still had the earring that I had been sporting since my college days. As I'm standing in the elevator, a secular Israeli walks in and he looks at me, he looks up, he looks down, and he says, "Maza, what's this?" Israelis are not shy about expressing their opinions. He says to me, You can have this or you can have that. You can't have both. Well, I'm not sure that's 100% correct, but ultimately I decided he was right. I took out the earring. I kept the tzitzis. But I did want to understand what is the significance of these fringes. The Torah itself says they're supposed to remind us of all the mitzvahs, all the commandments. But how do fringes on the corners of our garments do that? Well, the brilliant European thinker, Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch, he explains beautifully and simply that when you buy a garment, everything is tucked under, everything's folded under, it's nice, it's neat, there are no rough edges, everything's smooth. And that tzitzis remind us that we live in a world that the creator, the master tailor, God kept intentionally unfinished. The nature of the world is rough. There are rough edges. There's fraying. It's not smooth. It's not easy. It's not neat. It's not clean. It's a messy world. And our job is to finish the job he started. Now, most of us don't practice it anymore. Some do. But originally, there was meant to be a thread of blue wool in the tzitzis as well. The tradition was forgotten for a long time. Some think it's been rediscovered. So you'll see some who do put that thread in. But that thread has a name. It's called techeles. It's the name of the blue dye that was used. And the word techeles is the same spelling, the same root as the word tachlis, which means completion, purpose, mission. And so the symbolism is clear. We live in a world that was intentionally left unfinished so that by performing God's commandments, we can finish the world, primarily by finishing ourselves. We are works in progress. We complete ourselves. And by completing ourselves, we bring completion to the world. That is the reason for our existence, to become partners in creation with the Almighty, with the one true Creator. Now, the commentaries tell us that when you look at the blue, you're supposed to think of the sea, and the sea will remind you of the sky, and the sky will remind you of the throne of God. Seems like there's an extra step in there. Why do we need to remember the sea? Why not just remember the sky? It's very simple. Because the sea is not actually blue. Water's clear. Why does the sea look blue? Because it reflects the sky. Everything in the physical world is a reflection of some deeper truth in the spiritual world. And as we go through life, we are supposed to learn the lessons of the heavens through our engagement here on earth. And with that perception, with that perspective, with that vision, with that orientation, with that attitude, We inspire ourselves to bring completion to the world, striving to perfect ourselves, complete the uncompleted nature of the world, and that's how we fulfill the purpose for which we were created.